Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Crime Centric. It's being a show where I talk about crime dramas that I watch. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the latest episode, Ray Donovan. So in this episode, we see the continuation of the whole Dimitri situation. Like last episode, Avi got taken. So this time, Ray decides to kind of take the preemptive strike and basically get leverage against Dimitri by stealing some of his art and using that as like a means of make sure that a fair trade-off for Avi, which granted, like, even in this entire episode, Ray never actually got to see Avi. He's still always having to bend to Dimitri's will, essentially. Bringing him that actor he wanted to see was that guy named Butch. And then it was just like, I was worried. I was like, oh, you're just going to kill him, aren't you? It's like, I mean, granted, he just beat the crap out of him. I mean, that sucks. I was just like, I had a feeling. I was like, the moment he's like, oh, let's go outside and have a cigar. It's only going to be like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, God, he's about to kill him, isn't he? But just beat him up. Essentially because because his movies depict him, like, killing a whole bunch of Russian people. So it's like, you basically, like, talk crap about my country by talking about, oh, how you could always kill all these hundreds of Russians, but it's like, you can't even beat my one bodyguard who beat the crap out of him. I was just like, but as long I'm glad it stopped there, but because you could see Ray knew it was going to go there, like go a little further. He's like, all right, you saw him. He's like, hey, let's get out of here. Come on, let's go. So trying to get Butch out of there, but Butch didn't really want to leave immediately, and that, I don't know. And Dimitri even killed that guy. Like I say, I keep referring to him as Nolan from Revenge. Ended up killing him because basically Ray wanted him to talk to Dimitri to be quote unquote reasonable. And, the guy tried to tell him, like, yeah, but that's not going to be likely. Because basically Ray got dirt on him. The fact is that some of the art that's been sold around town are forgeries because that's kind of his side business. And basically, I guess he tried talking to Dimitri, and Dimitri didn't appreciate what he had to say because he looked like he beat him up a little bit, and then brought Ray into the bathroom and shot the guy in front of Ray just to kind of prove a point. It's just like it's trying to submit more that it's like, yeah, you think Ray's come across some bad people before. This guy is the worst because he cannot be reasoned with. I mean, Ray's like, how much do I have to how much do I have to give up for you to be happy? He's like, not enough that you could basically accumulate. You could never accumulate for what I want as payment for everything that's happened. It's just like, how do you deal with someone like this? Like, the easiest way is to kill him, but the fact of the matter is he has a whole army behind him. Like, he has a large-scale operation, so even killing him won't be easy. So it does make you wonder how Ray's going to handle the situation, because even Sonya told him last episode, do not deal with my uncle, because he will kill you. He will just screw you over in the end and just kill you. Because just to prove a point. Because I guess if he lets things go, it'll be shown as weakness. So I guess that's the whole point is trying to get. What I'm wondering is, will Sonya continue to have a part in this? Because in this episode, they're like, oh, where was Sonya? Yeah, she landed somewhere, and then immediately took off the moment she landed. So it's like, where's she now? I don't know. So I'm thinking maybe Ray's going to try and play up some stuff and make it be like, okay, let's find her to get her back. I don't know. Because I honestly don't see how Ray's going to get himself out of this situation. Because he's up against someone. I mean, granted, he's come across some bloodthirsty people in the past, but not someone that you couldn't just deal with. But like I said, it's pushing towards that situation where it seems like he's going to start asking Ray to do stuff for him. I mean, even Ray's telling Abby's like, yo, it's all going to be okay. And it's like, it's not. I mean, at least I don't see it all being okay. This ends one of two ways. Well, three. If you can somehow walk away with this whole situation with Dimitri, which I think is the least likely, killing Dimitri, or Dimitri basically wiping out the entire Donovan family. Everyone, children, men, women, and children included. I mean, you even have Teresa in this episode freaking out. She's like, we're all going to die here. And Bunchy's like, don't say that. She's like, as long as we're around your dad and your brother, we're all going to die. And Bunchy's like, okay, we'll leave, but I want to make sure Ray gets back here first, to make sure basically Abby and the kids are okay, then we can leave it. Because that's kind of the whole point. They were going to leave earlier anyway, because after everything that went down last episode with Mickey. Because it's like, yeah, and because Mickey's like, hey, I'm gonna go with you. And he's like, yeah, do whatever you want, Dad. That's what you always do. Because he kind of wrapped him up in that situation. It sucks. Because he shouldn't have involved Bunchy and Teresa. He really shouldn't have done. I mean, granted, he didn't think things were going to go south, but they always do. Like I said that like last episode, I knew it was going to go wrong. It didn't go as bad as I thought it was going to go, but it still went pretty bad. So, I mean, he lost a woman he loves. And you see Ray kind of feeling a little sympathetic for him. It's like, I'm sorry what happened to you. I know that you really cared about her, but you shouldn't have done that, you idiot. What were you thinking bringing Bunchy there? It's like, he's like, for once, put your family first. And it was kind of led to a whole interesting conversation between Mickey and Abby in this episode, where she basically talks about one of the earlier times in her and Ray's relationship. They're laying on his bed listening to music, and basically he was saying, like, tell me when this song ends and slit my throat and let me bleed out, because it won't get no more beautiful than this. And I was just like, it's one of those dark poetic things where it's like, oh, that's beautiful. I mean, most people might be like, yo, what? That's some crazy ass shit to say something like that. But, you know, it's kind of one of those kind of, I don't know how to put it, one of those dark, twisted, poetic things. It's beautiful in its own way. Maybe not everyone will interpret it as that. Some people might like, that's stupid. Don't do that. How about I just live in this moment? You don't have to slit my throat and make me bleed out. But still, you know, the sentiment, almost sound like I said sentiment. The sentiment behind it is still there. Even, Mickey was like, yeah, I've never been so in love. I'd have someone to slit my throat open. And it's just kind of like, you know, because Abby was like, you know why I love you, Mickey? Because I love your son so damn much. And he's like, and Mickey was like, you know why I love you so much, Abby? Because you made this family better. This family, you were the best thing to happen to this family. So, and speaking of Abby, we did bring up, well, 2 points. One, she brought up earlier in the episode, you should have killed that woman. And Ray said it wouldn't have mattered. And that's the question. Would it have mattered if he killed Sonya? I don't know. Things might be a little bit easier if he had killed Sonya, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, I don't know. Like, I feel like, because I think he's kind of right that basically no matter what, the situation was going to be what it is right now to a certain degree. I mean, I feel like it might actually, granted, I don't know. Because I feel like if Ray, I don't know. Eventually, everything would have tied back to Ray. Like, Dimitri would have found out that he was the one that killed Belikov, some shape or form. Maybe things really would have been better off. Maybe if he had killed Sonya, killed her other 2 associates, which, granted, both of them are dead now, that would have killed everyone that knew about Belikov. But granted, there were the tapes at the dock. But I'm sure Ray would have dealt with that. So, I don't know. Maybe things would have worked out for the better. But at the same time, Ray's never actually killed a lady before. Like, it's not like killing someone's his first go-to move. It's kind of, to be honest, it's kind of a last resort, I'm sure. So I'm thinking that's another thing, because it's kind of like, I think Abby thinks it's like, if he needs to, he will outright kill someone. But it's not like he doesn't go out killing people. That's just not his style. He might threaten and blackmail, might beat some people up, but he won't kill somebody. So I don't know, those circumstances. I guess just Abby thought, like, you know, you've killed people before, obviously. Like, what's one more person to ensure the safety, especially if it means ensuring the safety of her family. But at the same time, it's like, she's a mom. Like, why? I'm not going to deny a little girl her mom, you know? I get, you know, Ray's never brought that up, and I guess Abby's never really thought about it, because it's like, why are you worrying about someone else's children? You should be worried about our own. So, I don't know. Then on the flip side of the episode, we have Terry dealing with a lot. Him and his cop lady friend. I just hope it doesn't turn into the whole Frances situation. I mean, granted, I doubt it will, because she is, I mean, for all intents and purposes, she's single, so it won't be a repeat of that situation. But I hope it works out for him, because it's like past 2 relationships haven't panned out for him. He kind of brought up his past to her, talking about the fact that, yeah, I was in jail for armed robbery, plus I got shot. And when I was, you know, after, you know, I remember kind of like my body giving up. And he was like, I heard a voice saying, after the pain is love. So that's kind of going on a date with the lady too. And I don't know. I want to point that out because I want things to work out for Terry. It's like he's got the raw end of the deal with everything. So it's like, you know, bring some good in his life. I mean, because really he sunk his teeth into this whole match thing with Hector, and basically, you know, it put the gym on the map. You know, it's big promotion for them and everything. And he's trying to do his best, but Hector's not making that easy for him. When all this drama is going down, he can't get his hair clear. The whole Marisol thing, which interestingly enough, I don't know if she's brought that up before. I don't remember it being brought up. But the fact that she was like, I dealt with the priest and you dealt with dad. So it's like, okay, so I guess she killed the priest for Hector and Hector killed her dad for her, like, because of, what each party did to them. So she's like, that's why we're connected. And she's just not willing to let him go. And he's like, just go away, you know. And then on top of that, his wife is leaving him with his little girl, and he may not see her again. Just things are getting complicated because Marisol won't go away. And Hector finds himself kind of drawn back in. Like, the moment he showed up at her apartment, I was like, okay, so this is going one of two ways, and it went the other way. He ended up killing her. I was like, yeah. I was like, wait. At first, I was like, please. I actually was thinking, like, please don't kill her. Please don't kill her. That's not going to be good. Just don't kill her. I was like, so this is most likely. She started taking off his clothes. Like, all right, so this is going to go sex round way. And then he starts staring. I was like, don't. And he grabbed her. I was like, no. It started drowning her. I was like, crap. And the fact of the matter is, Terry was like, oh, Terry came over because he wanted to check on. He's like, I know where he's at. This is going to be bad. Let me just go get him. Gets there. He's like, Marisol killed herself. That calls Ray. Ray goes there. Ray's like, yeah, I'm not stupid. He lets Terry think, yeah, Marisol killed herself. Hector, I'm not stupid. You killed her. He's like, I already know. I've been in enough situations where I had to clean up people's messes. I know a murder scene when it happens. And Hector's like, please help me. And just Ray's like, nah, I can't. Just good luck, Hector. Because basically Hector thought, like, if he killed her, all the pain would go away. And then Ray tried to tell him, it's like, no, it won't. Ray should know because he killed the guy that abused him, that caused him so much pain, but he's working past it. He worked past it, but it's still there. The pain just doesn't go away. Even, the pain can get minimized. You can deal with it, but it will never completely go away. Those scars are just kind of there. And he's like, killing her ain't going to make that go away. So I was like, wow, Ray walked away from this situation. I was like, Hector screwed, isn't he? But at the end of the episode, he came back and helped him. So I don't know how to interpret that. Like, whether he's doing that just to help out Hector, or was he trying... The way the episode ended, it made me think like, oh, I'm trying to squeeze some stuff out of Hector, basically get some money so that I can pay off the meat. I don't know. Maybe that's not how that was going to go down, but it does make me wonder, though. Like, what was it? What made him decide to actually help Hector in the end? Because it's like you walked away from that situation, but then you came back to help him. So why? It must be part of his grand plan to help him get out of this whole situation with Dimitri. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, because we only have 2 episodes left this season. Because this was episode 10. There's usually like 12 episodes a season. So, you never know because they might increase it or decrease it. So. But so far, 2 episodes. I'm very curious to see like how this will all end, and will the whole Marisol situation. I mean, will it actually? I mean, I doubt it would actually help Hector. I'm sure this is going to hinder him even. Well, I can't believe use the word hindrance. This is going to screw him even more because even though he had his problems with Marisol, she still played a part in his life, and it's like now that she's gone, like she was kind of his like anytime stuff gets too real or too painful, it's like, yo, go to her to alleviate some pain, essentially. Because in a sick, twisted way, there was some love there. I mean, granted, it was like codependent love. It's like after everything, I mean, she took advantage of him when he was a little kid, after he had been taken advantage of by a priest and everything. I mean, granted, it's not her fault. She played a role. It was just a cycle of damage. It's like their dad did it to her. The priest did it to Hector. She did it to Hector. It was just a cycle of damage. So it's not, they have to take responsibility for themselves. But at the end of the day, it's like there were other factors that have to be kept in mind too. So I don't know. I'm very curious to see how Ray's going to handle this whole situation. Literally in the back of my mind, I'm nervous because I'm like, dude, anyone in this show could get dropped dead at any moment. Like someone's going to get killed. I get the feeling. I don't want any character to die, but I'm like, dude, I'm scared at every turn because I'm like, dude, somebody's going to die. Because like Ray is telling Terry to shut down the gym early in the episode, and Terry's like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, is it the Russians? He's like, well, fuck them. I'm like, come on, Terry, don't do that. Because I'm literally expecting the Russians to bust into the door at any moment and start killing everyone in the gym. I'm just like, I don't want that. Plus what Teresa said about, oh, we're going to die. Once again, I've had that situation with foreshadowing. I was like, oh, don't say that. Please don't say that. Now that she said it, one, if not both of you, are going to die. And you know what's going to... And I get the feeling it's going to do that. Because we've set Abby up, to be taking care of Maria. And it's just like, oh, God. Like, now she's back with her mom and dad, Teresa's trying to get better, dealing with kind of her postpartum depression. But, this whole situation, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it could easily go that route where it's like Bunchy and Teresa die, and it's like Abby and Ray have to look after Maria. Possibility. I actually completely skipped over it. The fact of the matter is, I was going to bring it up earlier. I was like, the second thing about Abby this episode was the fact is that her doctor called. She's like, about her condition. Basically, I don't know if it's the same lady that Lena was kind of, stalking online before, her ex that she kind of temporarily was making out with at that club or whatever. Still curious about that. But at the same time, I was wondering, like, she was kind of saying, like, oh, I'm not going that route. And you find out, it's like, oh, yeah, Bridget's the only one that doesn't know now. Because Connor found out, was it like an episode two ago? It's like, but Bridget's the only one that doesn't know now. So she's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah. It's like, are you sick or something? She's like, no, I'm fine. So later, I don't know. I don't think Daryl knows. I don't think Terry knows either. So never mind. She's not the only one in the dark, but, amongst her children, amongst her immediate family, she's the only one that doesn't know, because now, like I said, now Connor knows. So I hope it's one of those situations. It's a show, so they could easily make her situation go either way. I mean, obviously, I get why they added it, because it's like, it adds more. I mean, for one, it adds more realism to the show too, because it's like, yeah, life hands you crappy cards. It's like, yeah, your life is crazy and hectic. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background. And on top of that, you have cancer, because cancer sucks, and it always hits people. Like, even no matter how crappy life is, it's there to kind of make your life even worse. So I guess it's there to add more realism to it. I mean, it's a TV show, so they could easily write it off like, and her cancer goes into remission, or they could just completely make you sad and be like, and her cancer kills her. Like, it could easily go either way. It just really depends on the show writers, I guess. Like, what, everyone that has something to do with the show, it depends on them, whether they're like, yo, we want to add more drama to it, we want to add more depth to the character. So dealing with the fact is that Abby's, well, I mean, she's kind of in a situation where she's dying right now, but if she died, it's, if things escalated and it's like her cancer is getting worse and it's like she's dying, that plus on the fact of the matter is of like, if she ends up dying, I don't want her to die, because I feel like she's the only one that's going to reel Ray back in. Like, the family needs her, not just Ray, not just the kids. Everyone in that family needs her, because she plays a big part in everyone's lives. Like I said, Mickey, like, with everything said and done, like, she plays a big role in everyone's lives and a part of the Donovan family. So I wouldn't want her to, like, die, dude. Like, especially now that everything's kind of getting good, between her and Ray, like, there's more honesty. She knows more about the situation. Like, she's not like in the dark like she was in the past. He keeps her up to date, because remember at the beginning of the episode, I was like, oh, did you get all the art? It's like, yeah, we got all the art. So like, she's in the know, so he's not keeping secrets from her anymore. So I don't know. I'm rambling on. I'm just very curious to see where everything goes next episode. But that's really all I want to talk about in this episode. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.